Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to the Ventus Showmatch against Rain Gaming. My name's HellbirD and I'm joined by DeMoNiK. We go way back. DeMoNiK, welcome to the cast.
Thanks for joining me, HellbirD. Good to be here. Very excited about this show match that's coming up today. Two interesting teams ahead of us. Ventus Pro obviously just announced their Dota Division, and this is why this show match is taking place. And xTc, or formerly known as Rain Gaming, are going to be their opponents. Also a well-known and respected side in the Do Gaming League, Telkom Do Gaming League. So it's going to be interesting to see what is going to happen in this show match.
Yeah, I know that the Ventus guys are really keen on making a good impression here, and I mean, it's a good team to start against. I think Rain has they have a little bit of a mixed history. Of course, we know that they were premier side in DGL, and recently, or rather the previous league, were relegated via sort of roster restrictions to the open division. They've climbed their way back up to first division now though, and they'll be wanting to equally put a good spin on things and show that they're still a premier division side. And yeah, I guess let's get stuck into the bans and picks as they go on. And Boca and Ancient Apparition banned out by Rain Gaming, and Ventus Pro banning out Luna and Ember Spirit. Do you think there's any surprise there, or do you think this is stock standard?
The Luna is quite surprising. Generally don't see that in sort of the first set of bans. I mean, it is a popular carry, but I wouldn't put it there in the first sort of pick ban stage. But maybe they have something planned for that. Rain Game is going to pick up the Bat Rider, which is pretty standard. Did get quite heavily nerfed in this latest patch. The Lasso count. Lasso got I think a plus 75 mana to its Lasso. It went from 150 to 225. So it basically put the Blink Dagger back into the mana cost of that Lasso. So still viable and an extremely effective hero. And Ventus Pro are going to go up, follow it up with the Mirana, another pretty standard pick. So nothing out of the ordinary as of yet. We could see a Bane or a Shadow Demon coming out now. Shadow Demon has seen a lot more play since this patch has started.
I don't suppose we'll be so fortunate to be blessed by an Aghanim's Shadow Demon. That would be really unlikely. But if it goes on for a very long time, it would be really cool to see that that double ulti. Bat Rider, as you mentioned, not quite as strong as he once was. I think that Blink Dagger really does hurt him. I mean, I recall ages ago one of the professional players speaking about the fact that Bat Rider has to buy these items that don't afford him any stats, and just based on that, it really makes his sort of capability seriously sort of hindered. But you call it, we do see that Mirana Shadow Demon coming up, and it's a really brutal combination. Kind of fortunate, I think, that Invoker's already out the pool, otherwise we might see some pretty easy kills going down. But it'll be interesting to see what Rain do with their second ban here, or pick rather, as they kind of have to figure out some way to deal with this. Unfortunately, as soon as somebody first picks that kind of lineup, you know what's happening and you know what you're going to expect, and it really is a kill combination if you don't deal with it adequately.
Oh yeah, the Shadow Demon Soul Catcher just makes Mirana's spells do an infinite amount more damage. I mean, and it's so easy to land the arrow once with the disruption. You just arrow Starfall, and that's basically a solid kill, especially on the first two heroes that have come out here. Bat Rider and Rubik are not going to be able to get away from that by any stretch of the imagination. So if they get caught by the Shadow Demon's disruption, that's pretty much going to be a free kill. And we might see an aggressive tri-lane actually come out from Ventus Pro. It's going to be no hard carries picked up as yet. Mirana can be run as a one position if need be, but Shadow Demon and Mirana pretty much sets them up for an aggressive tri-lane. So I think these bans are going to be quite telling in what the plan is going to be for both of these teams. Bat Rider also has the capability to run in the off lane if need be, which is always a possibility, but you may want to see that mid, even bush. And Slark is going to be the first ban for Rain Gaming. Interesting ban. Pretty good if you can run it effectively.
Yeah, it's one of those weird sort of snowball issues. But I mean, you know, I think you mentioned that you cast these guys before they were called Ventus. Is there any sort of trends that they lean towards?
Oh gosh, obviously the new patches has changed quite a bit, but they are quite a gank heavy team, if I remember correctly. So they tend to be quite mobile around the map, get some early kills, get some early pressure onto the tower, and the Mirana Shadow Demon obviously is a good indication of that. So could be something to look out for. They banned the SK, so they're not looking for that Rubik SK combination, and Rain is going to follow up with the Nyx Assassin. So getting rid of a lot of stunners here. They're not interested to see those easy stuns coming out.
Yeah, it's I think Sanking I'm kind of sad to see go, actually. I'm a big fan. In fact, wow, Centaur Warrunner actually sort of slipped by. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't picked up a little bit early on. It's still a really, really powerful hero. And something I imagine that Ventus Pro would have loved to have. It also just shows a huge amount of progression. I mean, Centaur Warrunner is one of those heroes that just makes things happen across the map. So definitely going to be an exciting game by, by one means or another.
So it's and a really good pickup. The Shadow Demon combined with the Centaur Warrunner is an absolutely disgusting combination. If you can land that Soul Catcher onto a hero and then follow it up with a double edge, it's the easiest kill that you will ever get in your life.
Yeah, I mean, you can sort of run Centaur Warrunner also as sort of a greedy kind of 4 position as well. So we might actually see that being their tri lane. It is really, really. I mean, there's no way out. I mean, you don't even really need to hit anything other than the Mirana Ammo and the double edge, and it's going to kill pretty much any hero in the game. So I really want to see how Rain are going to handle this, because so there's something. It's obviously a response to what's going on here. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be, though. I think if they do engage in the Abaddon early on, there's not a huge amount of support that a Rubric can offer in this case. Obviously, if you're up against the Shadow Demon and a +1 stunner, it does mean that you can just telekinesis that one hero and pretty much end that threat. But at the same time, when you're up against Centaur Warrunner, Shadow Demon, and a Mirana, if that's the case, there's 2 heroes you're going to have to catch. You're going to have to telekinesis one, pick it up, and drop it on top of the other hero. Really hard work there. So, oh wow, and the Lina. Okay,
so we've got the kill combination coming out. Yeah, this is going to be. I mean, do you run the aggressive tri-lane with the Centaur? Do you run the aggressive tri-lane with the Mirana? I think both will be just fine. I mean, the double stun combination is going to be perfect. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how they lane this from Ventus Pro. Just talking quickly about that Abaddon, there was one change. He got an added, or his Argonum Scepter changed a little bit, so that 35% of all damage done around him is directed towards him. All damage done to allies is directed towards it during his ulti. So that may be what they're looking towards. But getting an Argonum Scepter on a support like that is going to be tough, no matter what hero you are.
Yeah. But I think we all secretly want to see one of these new Agnum Scepters come into play. It's unlikely, but wouldn't it be great? But who knows, maybe that's sort of like a farming Abaddon. We've seen in the past. I mean, you and I, we go way back, and we would know about the days of the farming Abaddon. Pretty different looking though. But Morphling is going to be picked up by Rain. I actually think that's a pretty decent one. If that's a hero they target, it could be a little bit hard to take down. With the Abaddon there, they'll have to sort of really use the spells very, very quickly, because a Apodic Shield with strength gain could be enough to see you out. But still, you're not going to see much farm on that Morphling if that's the case. So, if Ventus Pro can execute this well, I think they're going to have a great time in the laning stage.
Yeah, I mean, they've picked up some excellent heroes. They've definitely got an idea behind their strats. I'm a little bit worried about that Morphling pick. I think it's going to have a rough time, unless maybe they send it middle, which is a possibility, but I don't think that's the ideal place that you really want to be sending a Morphling. Oh, I just don't know.
Ventus Pro just look like they came out of the blocks with, hey, this is how we're going to play this game. We don't really care what you guys are taking here, because we're going to make you pick around us. And they've kind of done that to some degree, and I don't really see the sort of the synergy just yet in Rain's selection. I mean, I think that Morphling is one of those heroes that he really does require a lot of farm to be, hit the ground running. And on the other side, Ventus Pro they have this lineup that's we're going to put pressure on them pretty early on. We have some heroes that scale well with abilities, but really we're all about the early game so far, and it looks good for them. But anyways, let's chat about these bans coming out. I think we've been pretty sort of pulled away here, but Odie banned out by Rain and Viper banned out by Ventus Pro. So Odie and I mean, those are 2 very interesting heroes, because they're both sort of those crushers for mid. So maybe we'll see some interesting lineups. Maybe a Shadow Fiend. I think Shadow Fiend would be great here for Ventus Pro. Actually, it gives them another hero to turn back on a farm, gives them a bit of team fight, and also with the heroes that are banned out of the pool, he's a little bit. I mean, in fact, there's a huge amount going for this, because one of the massive weaknesses for Shadow Fiend, of course, is that he's so
squishy. Yeah, he's so squishy. Yeah.
And who's going to gang him here? Until Batrider gets up and running, he's going to have a good time at least getting experience and a decent amount of farm. Assuming that we don't see something really interesting picked up here, if they do go for it, let's leave it to the teams to decide how they do go about this.
Yeah, I really like the idea of a Shadow Fiend pick. I think it'll work really well here. I mean, there's been a... I think that Ventus think that Rain hasn't picked their mid hero yet. The Batrider could go mid. I mean, it's always a possibility, and it's an extremely strong mid hero. So we're going to see the DK actually come out. So I imagine that they think that Batrider is going to be off lane. And I wonder what... And we're going to see a Templar Assassin, so that's going to be the mid hero coming out for Rain Gaming. So which is most likely going to send the Batrider to the off lane, and then a extremely defensive tri lane with the Morphling, Abaddon, and Rubik.
Yeah, well, let's introduce the players as they get out the box. I'll go ahead and do Ventus, and if you'll be so kind, take us through Rain afterwards. So on the Centaur Warrunner, it will be Grime. On the Marana will be Night Wraith. Over on the DK, Kronos. And on the Lina, it will be Zeke, the captain. And finally, handling the Shadow Demon will be Flaming Sheep.
On the side of xTc Rain, we've got Rainbow is going to be carrying up that carry Morphling. We're going to have Rain, the captain, on the Rubik. He's going to be joined by Smets on the Abaddon in support. Heading off into the off lane, it is going to be that Batrider, who's being played by Lighten Up, and in the middle is going to be the TA being played by Sven.
Yeah, Sven's, to me, I think people must be hearing this, saying this, but he's one of the players to watch. I think Sven is one of those guys who can snowball, can become a real problem for you. Seem to do quite well in some of the sort of local sort of 1v1 tournaments. So I think one of the really good opportunities for Rain is for him to deal some damage to the DK middle and you know, find some farm, find some way in this game for him. But you can see Ventus, we were talking about their aggression, they're smoked up, they're in the bushes, and they're sticking around for a very long time. They're still pinging out these sort of deep jungle areas, so really keen. And if they'd stuck around for just a little bit longer, they might have even gotten lucky as Smet starts venturing into the jungle. We'll see them head off their lanes. And is there any doubt where this tri lane's going?
There's absolutely not. I'm just wondering whether it's going to be... Okay, so it looks like they're going to send the Centaur to go face against the Batrider in the off lane. They're going to send the Potom. It may have been worthwhile just to put the Potom up against the Batrider, just because I think she'd have a bit of an easier time farming, but I think either one is going to do just fine. Once Centaur has a couple of points in return, things can get a little bit tricky for the Batrider harass. But I have seen Batriders win that lane, so it's always going to be something to watch out for. Yeah.
Interesting enough, I've actually seen some of the players, and they mentioned that they're not too shy to put a safe lane Warren, because he gets that fast blink. You can get a blink as fast as a sort of, you know, regular safe lane farm will get with Midas or so, and you know, kills happen when that hero gets a blink dagger up. So it still screams aggression to me. I think that Warrunner is going to try to get blink as fast as possible and just get involved. But he has picked up a double damage rune, and he's chasing around Lighten Up in the bottom lane. Lighten Up just stacking up a couple of sticky napalms, but just a bit of handbag slapping in the end. And actually might get himself into trouble here. He's pulled a lot of creeps onto him, and Grime does have that 2-stomp, but going to mick it out, and he's picked up a lot of stacks as well. So both these two players looking pretty aggressive in this bottom lane.
No, he's got to be careful. I mean, they're 5 stacks, and Lighten Up's managed to get to level 2. He's going to get the one Hoof-Stomp off, but he should be okay. Oh, Lighten Up's trying, and he's going to get it as well. So that's going to be first blood.
Yeah, I mean, not really the start you wanted with your aggressive lineup, and Lighten Up was really toying with death. I mean, he came very close himself to dying, but he'll be very happy with that outcome. Grime, not so much. And I was going to say that the action was going to be top lane, but top lane is very quiet at the moment with the off laners or sort of the solo guys having most of the fun of it.
Yeah, I don't think this... I mean, the Disruptor's just going to have to wait for these guys to get basically out of position for them to initiate. The Lina and the Night Wraith is doing just fine. He's sitting at 8-1, only 2 creeps on the Morphling. So I think the Rain tri lane is just going to be as defensive as possible, and make sure that their carry doesn't go down. I think that's their only aim in this game. Yeah,
and I mean, it will be really good for them. One thing we didn't speak too much about is that the late game at the moment, it really does favor Rain. I mean, the TA is obviously a hero that scales incredibly well with items. Morphling, one of the best scaling heroes in the game, and also kind of an unusual one with the way he would get his items up. And then, of course, you sort of think of the Batrider, in fact, Batrider really flirting with death there at the bottom lane. He has been so hyper aggressive at the moment. He is not scared at all of this into Warrunner. But yeah, he's a hero that can become sort of quite good utility with being able to pick up that Scythe of Ice or whatnot. And I think that sort of, if this goes really late, that will favor Rain. And right now they've got a decent enough start. I mean, the first blood going in their way was certainly a very useful thing, but the only real concern, of course, is that he needs to be secured farm. He's actually doing alright at the moment, sitting on 7 CS, which is considering it's not that far off the pace. I mean, he has to be like really and hold that thought, because top lane was the stun flies, 2 stun stack, but is it going to be enough? We do see the waveform go, so Rainbow able to escape, and looking at his mana, that's the first time I think that's actually happened, so pretty good news for them. But something to bear in mind, Zeke, for example, if you look at low mana cost on that hero, he can do that a couple of times, and of course, you only really Starfire being the sort of, or Starstorm rather, being the expensive spell in the lane with a hero that doesn't have a huge mana pool. They definitely have a few opportunities they can go at this, so they won't be too upset about that that sort of stacking of the stuns, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they would have been able to get the kill. I'm not sure they would have been able to get the kill anyway. Sorry, but just because Rainbow managed to get out of there in time. But I think that has to be something that they're going to have to work on. They're going to have to decide amongst themselves whether or not they want to throw the arrow first, or they're going to rely on the leaner stun afterwards. And that's just a matter of communication. Obviously, this team has been getting together for quite a while, so I imagine that they won't make that mistake again. But Zeke's being extremely aggressive here in this. He's taken up an extremely aggressive posture, but Lena's recently been buffed. He's got 670 range on her attack now, so she can harass from ages away. And looks like Lighten Up is actually going to go and Grime. We're going to have a TP in here from the Shadow Demon, and this could be trouble if he manages to get. He's busy juking amongst the trees. Flaming Sheep's taking a lot of damage. Grime's got 4 stacks on him, but nothing as of yet. Flaming Sheep's actually going to be able to catch him out here with a disruption if he's. But I'm not sure what's going to be able to become of it, and I think Lighten Up should be okay. He's running for the heals as fast as he can.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. He also has a bottle charge, so he can heal up just a little bit. But actually nice use. I'm not sure if that would just happen to expire, or he actually used the Shadow Poison just to interrupt that. Actually dispelled the bottle, as I mentioned it. But well, I'm amazed at how aggressive Lighten is. This is a player who wants to fight, and I guess he's sort of thinking to himself, you know, if Ventus want to come out aggressively, I can do that too. And so far it's worked out for him. He's sitting at 18 last hits. He's sort of number 3 on the table. Got that first blood as well. And what is this being brought in? It's Tranquil Boots. Interesting. Tranquil Boots and Magic Wand for him. Not really rushing for Blink. I guess that makes sense. He wants to survive as much as possible in the lane. I don't know how I feel about Tranquil Boots. Maybe just a personal opinion. It's not what it once was, certainly. I
think it would have been better in this instance just to go for the early Blink day, just so that he can get to the top lane and help out, maybe get a kill there. Because if they can get a kill in that top lane and just stop that aggression, even just a little bit, even if it's just a mental more than anything else, the fact that the bats got a blink and they have to be a little bit more careful, that would have made a huge impact on the game. Yeah.
Well, let's chat a little bit about mid, because our 2 friends Kronos and Sven have been a little bit quiet. They've been just sort of exchanging creeps for the most part. But at the moment, Sven is leading the charge with 28 CS, and DK very far behind on 14. So Sven doing a great job here at the moment, and actually looking pretty good for Rain right about now.
Yeah, Rain are keeping themselves together. They haven't given up any kills in their tri lane. I mean, Lighten Up has shown that he's willing to play aggressive in the off lane, and mid is doing an exceptional job against the DK. DK doesn't particularly like this matchup too much. The Psy Blades, do an extensive amount of damage.
I like that one, actually.
The Psych Blades.
I like the Psych Blades. Yeah, just mick them a couple of times. You don't know if you're getting hit. And
looks like we're gonna have some action here. Oh, the disruption goes off, and the stun is gonna kind of fall up. Once again, the arrow lands as well, but good patience from this time. So the arrow landed first, and they managed to save a stun. Looks like Flaming Sheep might be a counter kill here. So Rainbow's gonna pick himself up a kill as well. Are they gonna get Rain? They are not gonna get Rain. So it's 1 for 1 at the moment. And but Zeke managed to pick up the kill. So that's 2 supports down, but Rainbow does manage to pick up a kill, so not entirely lost in terms of the tri lane there, but good play from Ventus.
Oh wow, could be. Hold that thought. It's Rainbow now looking for the last hit to get it. That's really tragic for them at the moment, and Lucy's Fable coming up. It's not going to be enough.
Wow.
That's a tri lane down for just the 1 support. That really was a full little passage of play for Ventus.
It was nearly such a clutch play from the Abaddon, but unfortunately the Morphling went down in the end. But that's not exactly what you want. Rainbow is going to be back here. He's got a ring of health. I would have maybe liked to see just some more stats on him, going some treads, maybe morphing into the strength gain, just to make sure that he doesn't die to the arrow soul catcher Lina combination, which is going to be I mean, it doesn't level up at 6. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, and that's a very close leaner to 6. I mean, seeing it's probably like a creep or 2 shy with the combined experience. But interesting, by the way, is that during that passage play as well, we saw a lane switch going on. So Grime has actually headed towards the mid lane, take on Commander Sven, and Kronos off on the bottom lane, is going to take on Lighten Up. So this is interesting, and I'm not sure if this really favors either better. These two are sort of similar heroes in some degrees with the way they function in lane, but. Well, in fact, now we see them. They've just changed around, so never mind.
They're a little bit indecisive, but they decide that the first position was probably the best one. It looks like they might want to go for a kill here in bottom lane. We've got Lina here, and we've got the Centaur. Centaur's ulti is up, so you may want to use it just to try and land that stun. Flaming Lasso is up, so he could use that to get himself away here. But it's going to be they're just being quite patient. Grime's got to get through the trees. Centaur ulti's now going to run. Zeke's actually going to land his stun, so really good play from him. The Goon has got to go off, and that's going to be an easy kill for Ventus, sorry.
Yeah, I think that was a really decent stun as well coming from Zeke. If he didn't hit that, it was probably going to be a much harder kill. But all of a sudden, Ventus really looking with the tails up. A little bit of a shaky start, and all of a sudden, barely putting some kills on the board. And putting a lot of pressure on this bottom lane as well.
Yeah, I think I would love to see Flaming Sheep and Zeke just gank the mid lane. Give this DK just a little bit of respite. I mean, he's done really well. He's caught up to 31 CS but TA is the big lead at the moment with 48 CS at the bank.
TA, by the way, is just smashing apart Zeke in that bottom lane. We do see Lighten Up as well in the rounds, but it's really just going to be all Commander Sven as he picks up a pretty simple kill in the end with that haste rune.
Are we going to see a counter engage? Yeah, the arrow is going to come out onto Rainbow. He dodges, so he's going to be just safe for the moment. Good work from him to dodge that arrow. But good thinking from Ventus Gaming. They saw that Heroes TP'd in bottom. As we see Rain maybe in a bit of trouble. No, he's just gonna harass the Centaur. But Rainbow taking a lot of damage, unneeded damage in this lane, trying to get a couple of last hits. But he has picked up his trades. So he's looking a little bit more tanky, but he's only at 720 HP. It's not enough.
Oh, some more action in the middle lane though, as 756 and oh no, that actually LT missed the first one. There's another trap there. I don't know if they want this though. In fact, no. It looks like 756 is indeed heading back towards the top lane. But there's a friend once again in the middle. It's Zeke, and Zeke has moved around a lot on the map. And I think once you hit 6 on that Lina, you know, why not? And they're looking for anything here, but Commander Sven's actually seen him, so it shouldn't be a problem. He's playing it safe, going into the bushes, and we're going to see the illusion Jukery coming out as he tries to bait out some action here, and we'll see if they do fall for it. But in fact, top lane where this action is at, as you see, the disruption come out is actually defensive, as Nitrate was taking a bit of damage. He looks like he wants to throw that arrow. I saw the actual spell light up for just a moment, but it looks like they're thinking better of it. There are 3 there, and they're going to focus their attention, I guess, on the bottom lane where the actions at the moment. We see the one tower taking a lot of damage here, as Lighten Up himself takes a lot of damage. Dropping that sort of, sorry, I'm forgetting the soul's name, is Firefly. He's in a little bit of trouble. He uses the flame strike well, but there's going to be that double edge any second. Is it going to be enough though? Because he's very low himself. The lasso comes out. Grime in a huge amount of trouble. He should drop here. Oh! Wow! That was so close. Oh! Lighten Up, really. He tried to pull him back. He thought that the Firefly was still up. It dropped at that exact moment. Had to turn off the last hit. The double edge comes out, and he's fortunate enough to survive that. And that puts him very close to Blink Dagger. Let's take a quick look at the XP and gold graph. XP at the moment, we see a 1,000, or in fact 1,500 lead going the way of Rain at the moment, and gold also looking pretty good for Rain as well, sitting there at 3,000. So Rain, although they're behind on the score, they're looking a lot better for it, and it's pretty obvious why. The top 3 heroes for last hits at the moment are, hold that thought, Flaming Sheep, Telekinesis up. We've seen Arrow go through a lot of damage coming at him from Sven. Sven turns actually onto Zeke, but 756 getting taken down on the side. Smets manages to heal him up. There's that ulti coming out from the Mirana. Kronos actually stuck between the creeps at the moment. Oh, ulti wasted on a refracted Zeke, or Sven rather, and they're pushing forward. DK's illusion going to be used to help bring down this tower, and you can see Commander Sven pulling the creep wave away. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this, as this tier 1 tower becomes the next victim, and Rain, their turn to have their tails up. It's been a bit of a sort of ping-pongish game at the moment. The team's looking to have really strong moments, but at the moment, Rain capitalizing very well.
Yeah, and I think they should be able to get this T1 tower without too much fuss. The glyph isn't available, so it's going to be... I mean, it's not the fastest T1 tower I've ever seen, but it gets the job done, and that's going to give Bat his Blink Dagger. So 13 minutes for Blink Dagger, not bad at all, considering he got the Tranquil Boots as well. That's going to be flying out to him, not flying out, no, it's coming. It's just waiting for the TA to pick up...
actually,
the Yasha, I think, is flying out to as well.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a interesting selection there. But yeah, I was going to point out, I did a bit of stats recently, so it might be a little bit off, but I think the sort of average time for a professional player to pick up their Blink Dagger is around about 12 minutes, but I think that's as the first item. So Bottler and Tranquil Boots actually looking really good. He's got 51 CS as well, so he's certainly not had a rough time bottom. And this with action's really going to get started, because any bat right knows as soon as you get that, it's time to go in. And the action's going to happen in the middle as Commander Spin goes in on Kronos. We get stunned up, a lot of damage being dealt on the refraction, and Zeke being pulled out gets disrupted though by Flaming Sheep, who now they turn their action onto Command Spin. He's gone invisible right on top of the Sentry Ward though, and he will get picked up pretty cheaply. And that first lasso not going away, and just surrounded by Ventus players there who yeah, accepted the offering in the end. Yeah,
they have this ward on the high ground, and they saw the fact that the Batrider was keen, so Shadow Demon and Lina, both supports, were ready and waiting. As we see him actually go to the middle, the stun's got to go off for the Smets. He does have his level 6 though, so he should be able to get away just fine. But that is down for the next 60 seconds, so if they decide to go on him again, he's most definitely going to be dead. But I think really good play from Ventus there, good reactionary Dota, and they had the Sentry waiting for the TA when he went invis.
Yep, and something actually I almost feel like I don't think we mentioned it. The disruption on the Batrider really does make a big difference. It was something that was used a long time ago when sort of Batrider first came in. It was the sort of defensive disruption on the lasso, and we saw it being used there. So Ventus know their tricks, and actually the hero stick's still working on quite well, but hold the thought, because Commander Sven once in big hit going on, but he gets stunned up, arrow from almost melee range. There's the lighting up lasso up again. Kronos the target. We see the Moonlight Shadow coming out, but will it be enough to ream down? He gets disruption at the very last moment. Over on the side of the Grime, once again who someone gets to. Doesn't use the double edge though, he's very low, so opts against it, and Kronos still in the surrounds with absolutely nothing. Oh, lighten up, might explode, it might be enough. No, they don't bring down the DK, and we see the War Runner ulti being used as escaping him, but Zeke trying to battle against Commander Sten, who's getting some pretty decent damage off him, but he's going to have to back off as the friends of Ventus still in the surrounds. These last team fights have just been really going very well for Ventus at the moment. 8-5 at the moment.
Incredible disruption from...
continues.
Incredible disruption coming out from the Shadow Demon to save his DK's life, who didn't go down. I thought he was gone for after the lasso, but he managed to sneak around in... no sentry was placed, I believe, for the Dire, so...
Yeah, let's actually take a quick look. I mean, I'm not sure if they have any reveal, and I do see, in fact, 2 up on Rubric, and that's about it. The one thing I want to say, though, in fact, there's dust on Batrider as well, so my apologies there. But Rainbow at the moment has a lot of free farm top. He's actually doing very well as far as last goes. And he looks like he wants to get some action on Flaming Sheep. Nope, just going to create an illusion, just keep beating down on these sides. He's very deep in at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if they opt to deal with this, or they're just going to sort of let him poach away at this tower. We do see in the surrounds that it is Commander Sven, who's also been very active at the moment. He's got an invisibility rune, in fact, so he can get himself into a great position. We see the engagement attempt here, and there's the morphing engagement. Flaming Sheep gets destroyed, as well as Zeke. Very easy kills. Nitrate comes in to try and support his friends, but it's going to be too little, too late, and Morphling all the way back in the jungle. That's a lot of farm going the way of Rainbow in a very short amount of time, and those 2 kills really offsetting the good work that Ventus had done previously.
Where he was previously struggling, I mean, that Morphling is now very close to being top of the CS board. He's got 28 denies, he's sitting on top of the denies, and he's very close to his Lincoln Sphere, which is just about 500 gold away from happening. And after he gets that Lincoln Sphere, it's going to be all kinds of problems, I think. We've got an engagement happening in bottom, but Lighten Up is quite low. Throws out what spells he can, but it looks like Kronos is actually going to go down here. And Rain managing to steal the DK stun.
Commander Sven running away. He's actually doing a lot of damage to Grime. Grime might fall here. He gets off the Husum, not enough to save him though. Rainbow TP's in support. Maybe he'll commit to Zeke. It would be a bad idea because there's a couple of heroes waiting around there, but he looks very, very aggressive here. Commander Sven as well. We see the Shadow Poisoning being spammed out into the lane, and it sort of gives away. But on the sides, we've got Smets and Rain. Not two of the strongest ganging heroes, but when it comes to push, they kind of like these team fights. So, yeah, wow, man, I'm a little bit worried about these refraction charges being burned up by spells. I've seen quite a few now be burned away by just refraction being up, and I think it's cost them quite a bit.
Yeah, besides the Shadow Demon, they don't really have a lot of tick damage to deal with that refraction charge. So it's pretty much relying on them just beating down on that. Beating down on Sven to try to get rid of those. She's up to 2,800 gold, by the way, so we're going to see another item come, maybe an early Desolator come out. She doesn't seem to be having, doesn't seem to be struggling to get towards the heroes.
Top lane, I caught the end of that, but
we're going to have some action in our middle. The Lighten Up has used his slew, but instantly Shadow Demon, but Zeke is actually going to go down in the meantime. Smets is popping his ulti, and that's 2 down on from the side of Ventus Gaming at the moment, and it looks like Rain are completely prepared to go in. Sven's now joining the fight. He gets stunned up, but he does have a trap. Oh, Smets is extremely low, but he's actually got to survive. And that's going to be a 3-for-0 trade. As we have more action happening in the top lane, the blink is going to go off. Rainbow is trying to get up as much strength as possible. Double edge goes off. Oh, is he in trouble? He does have his Lincoln Sphere. It's on the chicken, so he's bought his Lincoln Sphere. So if he dies here, it's not going to be too much of a tragedy. But engagement's happening all over the show here.
Oh yeah, I mean, we said there'd be excitement, and I think we've called that one right. I mean, we've seen a lot of kills in the first 20 minutes. So it's been about a kill a minute at the moment, which is in fact a little bit over. But still a lot in this. But I got to say, I think if this game sort of keeps going at this pace, it's pretty much what Rain want. I mean, they'll be very happy with the way this is going. They're going to scale very well. They're getting items up in this series. As you mentioned, Lincoln Sphere up on the Morphling. The tier, what is he going for? Dude, he's sitting on 3.8k gold.
He's 100 gold from that, or he's 25 gold away from buying just a straight Desolator if he wants to, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He might try to pick up a kill here, but
suspense.
Oh, I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls, and I'm fully aware the greed is real. So 3,900 gold. Is he going to pick it up? We've got a 4-staff coming up with Bat Rider, so that's going to help him a little bit. But he hasn't bought anything yet. Spend your gold. Spend your gold.
Let us know what's happening. What's this going to be, sir? Okay, well, I see the 2 mithril hammers out. It's a Deso, and you'll have it up in any second now. That's a pretty fast Deso as well, considering what he already has. Going for some sort of hybrid build, if you will. He hasn't kept the drums. It's not quite the speedy build. Obviously, no Blink Dagger. I don't think he's going to go for that Blink Dagger by the looks of things. I think he's going to sort of rely on Lighten Up to pick off his targets for him. But I'll tell you what, he's going to really start hurting now. In fact, the supports are going to explode. Any support that gets caught up by Commander Sven is pretty much it's going to be the one hit that deals pretty much most of his HP and just one follow-up shot to finish the job. The action is going to be bottom though, as we do see Lighten, who has picked up an Invisor, and he's going to walk around. You can see Cronus here, but up a little bit further up is Grime. He's the perfect guy to... Oh, wow, this could be a problem. He actually gets stunned up. Lighten in quite a bit of trouble here. Where's the support coming in though? We see the Laguna Blade coming up. Lighten will fall. It's Grime's turn now to be in a bit of trouble. There are some sentry wards placed, and Rain going to run away. Over on the other side, there's Commander Sven. He's beating down, but he's getting smashed apart. Wall drop as well, and there's the peripheral. We also see the Rubric fall. Really great fight for Ventus Gaming. Smets helpless to assist his teammates. He's got no mana left, and yep, the Tranquil Boots aren't going to save this tower. Yeah,
really good stun from Zeke. Double man stun just as they managed to get rid of the refract and then lay down that damage into the TA just to make sure that she goes down. And this is going to be a T1 tower. So that's oh, Smets is far away from home. He does have his ulti, but there's going to be a follow-up stun, and there should be another tail coming up soon, and that's going to be another free kill. That's 4 heroes that have died in the last 30 seconds for Rain Gaming, and that's most likely going to be this T2 bottom here as well.
I can still care about this one. I mean, the fortification is even being used here, and I mean that does a lot for the gold as well. And I'm not sure if they'll actually be able to defend this. Zeke using that Fire Soul. Interesting build from Zeke, actually. Only the 1 and stun. And he's in a little bit of trouble. He gets lassoed up by Lighten Up. A lot of people coming in. Might try to get out. No, there we see the Taylor King's going to seal the deal. Rainbow in for the experience. He doesn't pick up the kill. And Ventus now on the back foot. But really great little passage of play with him. Just the 1 support lost. in the end. And tier 2 tower even sitting really low. I would love to see how that affects the golden XP graph, so I'm going to head over there for a moment. At the moment, Ventus still quite far behind gold earned, sitting at about 5,000, and the XP graph is looking a little bit healthier. It must be said, sitting at 2.5k, not too much in it. DeMoNiK, what do you think here? I mean, Ventus are finding kills, but is it enough? Are they making enough sort of movement here to sort of slow the rot? That Morphling's he's still finding some cash, only seeing 1.2 at the moment, but you know he's going to start getting there.
Yeah, the Desolator was actually flying out towards the TA in that fight. She didn't have Desolator for that fight. I think it arrived sometime during, but I think if she had managed to get be patient, pick up that Desa first, is that we see Rain Gaming going to head towards the rush here under cover of smoke, which should go down in absolutely no time at all with the minus armor coming out from the TA. I think if they manage to pick up that Desa...
I promise we will notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're just going to leave it.
As well, but Rainbow walked in, so Rainbow was visible and he walked in, but there's no wards up to scout this out, so they still are fine. Picking up the first Roshan, and my player instincts really wanted to hit that chat wheel for a moment there. Rainbow goes up to top lane, finding a little bit more farm. Nitraith, not scared to do a little bit of damage. We haven't spoken too much about the item progression on him. He has picked up the Maelstrom. We've also seen that Mjolnir is becoming a pretty well-liked item in the professional scene, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does transition into that pretty soon. But Mirana is such a squishy hero. I really like to find like a little bit of HP on her. The drums may be enough, but with a TA dealing as much damage, I don't know, maybe picking up that Ogre Club in anticipation of a BKB wouldn't really hurt.
Yeah, 1043 HP unfortunately is not going to make you survive too well against the amount of damage that is going to be coming out from Rain. Especially with the Desolator up, the Lincoln Sphere on Morphling, and plus just the coincidental damage that always comes out from a Batrider in team fights. As we see, Flaming Sheep is going to actually try and get a kill on this Batrider if they can.
I'm sure this is overs. Lighten up, goodbye. Good night, Sweet Prince. And this actually puts him in a good position to take this tier 2 tower down. You can see that there's no one in the surrounds for Rain, and that damage will come out fast and furious. It's going to pick it up. Will they commit to deal some damage to tier 3? I think that's the right call here. Smoke, in fact, popped immediately, and Zeke leading the charge towards the middle lane, where 756 and Commander Sven are pushing down the lane. Top lane used Waldo, Smets, and Rainbow did put a little bit of pressure. No damage on the tower. As I say this, it takes one hit from the catapult, but nothing to speak of. Ventus still smoked up, though. In fact, they're gonna. Oh, we see the Moonlight Shadow even popped here. Commander Sven is gonna walk straight into the disruption. Goes out. He's in a lot of trouble here. The blink goes on, does hit. Commander Sven taking a lot of damage. Surely gonna pop here and does get dismantled. He does have the Aegis, so this isn't over. Rain can't do anything about this. Commander Sven getting beaten down again. Oh, the stun comes out. It is enough. It was just this moment of silence, but Zeke finishes the job, and what a big play there for Ventus Gaming, picking up the Aegis and the kill on pretty much the most farmed hero in the game at that point, very cheaply, and a little too cheeky from Commander Sven. I mean, he was taking on the opponent's Ancients. He had to suspect there were some wards there. I don't think they would have noticed him coming up from the ward that's placed here, but they just went for it. I'm not actually.
Yeah, I think they didn't. I think they just they came up through here and they didn't see him leave. So I imagine that they did have this high ground vision, which just spotted him out on the high ground up here. So I mean, it was a chance, and it was really quite unlucky that the TA got caught there. But I mean, it's a huge kill for them, and I think that's going to be a huge gold swing in favor. I mean, it's still tending back towards neutral, the golden XP graph, as Ventus look set to try and take another T2 here.
And this tier 2 will do a lot for that as well. Start beating down on it. Just a potting shield creep going to come slow down the rot and does pop through. Actually, Grime is a little bit low here, so this is a good opportunity for xTc to counter engage. We see, there's the Lincoln, but it's not enough. Central War on using the ulti to disengage, and I don't think it's going to be enough. Zeke, though, Zeke's in a little bit of trouble here. He gets slowed by Commander Sven, still beaming down, and we see him popping the drums. He wants out. There's the Blinken by lighting up. That's who used just the flame break. Not going to be enough to push him back though, but he's going to try to TP out. Just absolutely gibbed. He just got absolutely gibbed by Commander Sven at that last moment, and even Rubric managing to steal a spell just before the death. Rain Gaming are beaming down this top tier 2 tower. They actually would love to sort of change it. It's pretty much a tit for tat moment for them after losing their own sort of hard lane tower. So but not great. The creep's too far away. They can't make too much of this happen. By the time they get there, there's going to be a Zeke back in action, and we can see the sort of players all huddling around this. I'm pretty sure Ventus intend to defend this, and if there's one ready, hold that thought. There's the lasso coming from Lighten Up and Flaming Sheep. Flaming Sheep gibbed once again by Commander Sin. Great blink in by Grime, gets telekinesis up. Commander Sin taking a huge amount of damage though. Is he going to fall? No, he gets the refraction up just in time. Grime there under Moonlight Shadow, right in the thick of things, and you do see Rainbow starts beating down on Ventus players as they start beaming towards him, but is there going to be a full engager? Doesn't look like it. Moonlight Shadow down, one in the sort of benches for Ventus, but unfortunately Commander Sven is very, very low on HP, so he looks like he's going to have to head back, and after a lot of time and energy spent by both teams, it's just going to be a support that dies, so...
Yeah, excellent arrow from Nitewraith to almost get that kill. The arrow came sneakily through sort of the pack of creep and landed on the TA, which then the Centaur followed up with, and so nearly got the kill. It was frightening. But good job from the TA to actually survive. The Potic Shield and her refraction pretty much went up on her at the same time. She was panicking as we see some action happening in the middle. Rainbow's... The Linkers does go off, so he should be able to get away just fine. But he's extremely aggressive.
Double edge on 756. I don't know if Rubik's really want to use that spell. 820 or 853 HP, and you're going to lose 400 of that with one ability. It's risky, that last stand moment if you can, but yeah, it's
not exactly what you, not the exact spell that you want on Rubik, but I've seen Rubik's make it work, so it's always interesting, especially in the sort of the 1v1 support build, you know, the Rubik first Shadow Demon kind of thing, and the Rubik just walks up and it's just double edged. So I've seen it happen. I've seen stranger things happen in Dota.
7-5 or
Grime's in trouble here.
We get the Batrider once in. He hasn't used his blink yet. Is he going to commit to it? In fact, he grabs Kronos. Kronos was there with the Shadow Blade. Gets absolutely good. Grime goes in with a nice stun again though. He's running for the heals though. Zeke on the side dropping stuns. See the force stop. Really great work there by Lighten Up on the high ground. But Grime is a hard target to bring down. But Commander Sven's the man to it. Telekinesis use. There see the waveform go through as well. 2 kills going the way of Rain. They don't look like to finish with this. So 756, or rather Lighten, is dropping some slows down on Flaming Sheep. But there we see the trap come out as well. Flaming Sheep in a lot of trouble here. No way out. It's crazy when you see this Commander Sven hits just come through and blow people up. 3 in the benches. Great opportunity. But once again, these creeps are so far back. But I think this time it should be enough for them. In fact, no, I lied. This creep is sitting right on top of them. So yeah.
So that gem on that gem on the Batrider instantly paying off. Kronos was undercover of his Shadow Blade and just found himself in amongst 4 of Rain Gaming's heroes and instantly got gibbed. The Centaur did what he could, but unfortunately it was already too late. And this might be Rax here.
It's a difficult defense, but they do get a nice arrow off on Smet, but still 7 seconds till Centaur Warren is back again, and those towers going down quickly. They're going for the range one, so maybe we have to just one. Moonlight Shadow is used. Zeke running in very deep, throws a little bit of disruption used on to Commander Sven. Rainbow just destroys one. Lasso up on Kronos. Kronos taking a lot of damage as well. Grime using the Centaur Warren. He uses that barbed arm as well to try and... Oh, he actually managed to pick him off. Great work there. Smith's still in thick things, taking a lot of damage. This is ulti up. It's down. He gets picked off as well. 4 down for xTc Rain. And in fact, it's not over yet. As Light Up wants out 4 stuff, 1 single him. He goes up the high ground. He's trying to get out. Is it going to... No, it's not. Gem is on the deck. They see it being pinged out. Grime drops the hood, picks up the gem, so paying off immediately, but then a full team wipe from Ventus. This game is just full of excitement. Range racks are down though, so some work done, but how will Ventus respond here? Is Roshan up? Not up just yet. Can't commit to that. Gotta find something though.
The unspoken hero of that team fight was definitely Zeke on the leaner. He managed to get his couple of spells, and then with this max Fiery Soul build that he has, absolutely destroyed the supports, destroyed the Rubik, and then turned his attention towards the to the Abaddon in the team fight, and just melted the 2 supports before pretty much was happening. He was to the north of the fight while things were happening to the south, so really good play from him, and that's going to be a huge turnaround. We're going to see the Majolna now coming up a Night Race, so his DPS is starting to become quite scary. He's got a DD as well, so... What do you think about the Dragon Knight not going for BKB?
I tell you what, I think that BKB is always a good item, but I think to some degree you can kind of excuse it a little bit here. I mean, there's not a huge amount of magical damage coming out of the team. There's obviously spells like Waveform and whatnot that do hurt, but I think the massive problem at the moment is definitely the TA, and he has picked up some armor, which is important. But hold on thought, because the creation's coming in. Shotgun, goodbye Zeke, you were a problem before, not anymore. Lighting up once in, 4 starts of Crime blinks away at the last second. Who's up on the high ground as Flaming Sheep will get away, and Ventus managed to scatter away back to base. And just for the death of Zeke, I think that they won't be too concerned about that. But Rain, you can see that they want to get very aggressive now. They want to close out this match, and I just want to point out BKB is now up on Commander Sven. 10 seconds of him being able to run rampant. It's be hard for him to take him down now.
Yeah, I think where the BKB can be excused on the DK, a BKB on the TA makes a huge difference, because of the sheer amount of magic damage from the Shadow Demon, Lenam, Potom, DK. I mean, they all have significant amounts of magic damage to them.
Bottom lane, Night Wraith, a lot of trouble here. Will he be able to get out? We see the slow come out. There's the Flame Break as well. There's no gem up though. So this time around, the Moonlight Shadow can be very effective, and xTc Rain on the back foot. But the Central War Runner has used his ulti. They want something in here. Are they going to find anybody though? They're a little bit far back. Smet seems to be the initial target. Now it's 756, but I think they might just get out of this. Nope. No, 756 runs down, gets the 4-star on Kronos. You can't find a stun just yet. Oh, you're going to get somebody here. Does stun Sen, but he actually forced it back. 756 got a lot of trouble. Gets a Laguna Bladed. Kronos now beating down Commander Sven. Commander Sven just running rampant though. Did not turn. There's the last two finally on Kronos. Commander Sven popped the BKB, but he wants out, and Light Enough just says oops and gets popped up on the side. But it's not over yet. Grime very deep in. Commander Sven starts beating down him, but he's taking a lot of damage. Well, he would have, in fact, if he's had the refraction up. Zeke dropping those stuns onto Commander Sven, and Grime wants in. He's just going to blow up though. There's the stun coming out from Grime though. Commander Sven, no refraction after the mech goes off. There's a double edge as well. Now the refraction's up. Grime is going to fall, does fall. Who's in the round? It's Zeke, very, very low at the moment. Commander Sven can't follow up, and that's just going to beat down on the creep wave. And still very exciting stuff at the moment. And all that time, Rainbow sitting in the top lane, just farming away. In fact, he's taking a tier 3 tower. That's how you split push, gentlemen.
I can't believe he took that T3. I was so excited watching this action down bottom that I was aware that he was there, but I didn't know that I thought he was just hitting on the T2. I mean, he's got just an incredible amount of gold. He's almost got his full Manta style up. And considering the bad start that he had, he's now got 260 creep kills with Vag. I mean, looking at the net worth, I imagine that he's going to be top, and he's just behind, he's actually just in front of the TA, who's about 1,000 gold. But, I mean, really good work from him. And as a Morphling continues to farm, he just gets scarier and scarier. As we see the second rush go down from xTc, so they are looking in an extremely good spot here. I think they've got pressure coming in from all sides. Looking at the golden XP graph, I mean, it's tending back towards their favor. It's about 10,000 each, so
good. And I'll tell you what, there's a very rich TA again. It's 4k gold. What's it going to be? I can't believe how much Commander Sven just hoards. You're a hoarder, sir. Just sitting on these massive sort of lottery tickets, and
you, sir, are a hoarder. Yeah, I think he's thinking about buying it. Okay.
The Chrysalis being picked up. So if it didn't hurt before, if you weren't scared of him before, would you like some crit with your crit? It's not nice. I would not like to be. I think particularly Flaming Sheep. I think he's the guy I would least like to be in this game. Zeke has slightly more HP. I don't know if it matters though. That is a huge hit that he's going to be able to put out. But a net worth at the moment really where you want it, with the 1 and 2 respectively on Rain sitting in the 1 and 2 positions, with a nice sort of hope for Ventus with the Mirana, Centauran, and DK. But you know what? I got to say, Kronos is. He's not felt hugely effective this game. Oh well, I'm gonna have to hold that thought, because there we have the engagement that no, actually hits the creep instead. So Grime able to blink out, but Batrider wants something. He's going up the hill. He does have the gem again, so just trying to see if there's any vision up there. And if they get a team wipe here, it's over. If you fight here, you pick up a team fight, even if they're buybacks, it's going to be so hard to defend your axe. And Commander Sven with the Aegis up, it's going to be very difficult for them, and we can see the damage already being dealt. And they obviously won't want to engage cheaply on Commander Sven, but we do see Zeke beating down him on the side. Flame or flame breath coming out from Kronos, as the illusions from Morphling actually ripping through, and Rainbow now in the forefront there with the Podic Shield up, do pick up the tower, or rather the racks. There's the center wall run, goes and gets a nice double start up on 756. Here the last in the background, Shadow Demon does manage to get the disruption of 756 falls on the side. Commander Sven chasing, who's he chasing? Zeke. Actually in a little bit of trouble here on the sideline. What's going on down this side? Just people running away under the guise of invisibility. We see Pinks coming out there. They're going to pick up this kill, but he does have... Oh no! Oh, huge leap, but Nitrate's still in a big amount of trouble here, not able to survive. Get out a little bit more damage before he falls though, but do see Rain still with the Aegis up. Is it going to still be up? The Refraction is up, Grime's going to fall. Is he going to fall? Does fall. Kronos trying to survive as the Laguna Blade used on the Lincoln Sphere. Kronos backs off to the hill, Zeke on the sidelines, and they do start descending upon that melee racks in the top lane. Kronos sort of trying to be some sort of threat, but Rain don't get. There's a huge waveform. There's the shotgun fall. Oh, what a huge four-staff. Grime pushed away. Who was it? It wasn't his teammate, so it's just a really great reaction by... I must be Batrider. Lesu though on Zeke. Zeke being pulled back. Disruption on him. Rainbow doesn't care. Going for the top. We see the huge hit coming on Zeke. Zeke almost on no HP. And 2 racks down. Rain looking all the way to lead the series 1-0.
That TA was so close to dying in about three separate instances in that fight. There was an instance where he was chilling here, and the arrow hit undercover and invis and left him with absolutely zero. But there were no sentries or anything, so they couldn't see him. So he was able to stay alive until his refraction came up again. Then the bottom tried to get him, and an excellent save from Rainbow with the shotgun coming out. So really good play all around from Rainbow, who are doing really well to keep their teammates alive as much as possible. And that's 2 sets of racks. I imagine we're going to see the end of this game fairly soon. Rainbow's being cheeky here under cover of inverse though.
Oh, he just wants to shotgun somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of agility, man. And Zeke, I think you're being hunted, friend. But you know, I've got to say, this has been a great game. I really was impressed. That 4-staff onto the center Warrunner. I'm looking through 4-staffs, and I think only Batrider has one, so I know it could have been Rubric. I'm not sure if 756 was up there, but either 756 or, well...
The shotgun happened, yeah, the shotgun happened.
Was it on Zeke? In fact, a little bit more alarming, it was on Marana. As we mentioned before, a little bit of a squishy hero, so the shotgun hurts. But that force-off was amazing. It actually kept up the Temple Assassin in that fight, so it meant a huge amount, just to the team sort of progressing through those racks. And now, I've got to say, for Ventus supporters out there, it's not looking like a greatest position to be in. In fact, it would be pretty spectacular if they are able to come back from this. But what it has done is set up for, I think, an amazing series, because you've got to think that Ventus Gaming, they have a lot to prove, and they got to feel like, hey, we've made Rain bleed. We definitely had our moments in this game where we were looking threatening. But for Rain supporters, also got to be very happy with the performance from Rain. I think under what looked like a very, very strong early game draft for Ventus, they handled themselves just splendidly well, and it's all paid off in the end, as they have very rich heroes running across the map at the moment. Bottom though, where the action's at, Rainbow is right there. He's right there. The shotgun goes off. Zeke is out. Kronos though wants to fight. He gets it by the lasso. Nice stun once again by Grime. Kronos getting beaten down though. Will they be able to pick him off? Do pick him off. And of course, there's Mr. Commander Sten, those big hits. And the action's not over yet as Grime heads out. We'll have the blink tag. And is he going to get off? Just get off just at the last moment. And the GG is called. A little bit of a smiley face, and the wall plates come out. DeMoNiK, yeah.
What an intense game! I mean, if this was game 1, I can't wait for game 2. I mean, great play from both sides. I think Ventus Gaming. I think this was actually more xTc's Reigns game. They did extremely well to just keep that Morphling alive in the safe lane. Once Ventus was forced to support, especially on their supports, and leave that Mirana up top, that's when the Morphling managed to get his farm back and then get himself back into the game, while TA and Batrider which were just absolutely decimating Ventus Gaming. So really well played from Rain. But Ventus Gaming showed plenty of signs of hope, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to come back strong in game 2.
Yeah, I got to say, man, I'm about to see game 3, so I'm going to be very biased here and hope Ventus manage to take the next one. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. This was a lot of fun to cast, and we hope to see you in the next game. Wait. Very important thing. Just a shout out to all the people involved. So obviously Ventus Gaming for organizing this match, as well as Ventus's Twitch channel and Nav Gaming or nAvTV rather for their stream as well. So thanks everyone, and see you soon.
See you now.